Okay, hello. I'm gonna wait a little bit for people to join. You should be good. Yeah, okay. Hi everyone. Hello, hello. Well, glad to see you again. And we're gonna try to make a nice and fun live about stone polishing. Yeah, I can see that's already quite a lot of people, about 12. Hey, hello. Okay, so I wanted to make another session of live. I guess this one won't be the last one, of course. I mean, the subject is endless, so today we're gonna talk a little bit about how you do the bridge between the synthetic stones to the natural stones, and how to prepare your bevel on the last steps to get then the best results on your naturals. I will speak English mostly. I know French people, you would like me to speak maybe more French. I can speak French if you want me to traduce anything quickly. I can traduce quickly, no problem. What do you say? Yeah, if you have questions, this live is for you. I mean, I have prepared few questions, I have prepared some few things, but if you have question about that moment, which is you have set your bevel, you have flattened the bevel, or you have shaped the bevel as good as you could on one of your knives, and it looks like when you are reaching to the last synthetic, it's not working very well, and when you reach the naturals, it's a little bit frustrating because you don't get the result you would like, or you don't get the finish you would like. So yeah, one of the questions I had, because I asked people to give me some of the questions they had in mind, is how you determine on a kurushi knife where is the shinogi. So this one is a good example, and this is kurushi, and I've set a white bevel, and I got a single bevel here, which is, sorry, it's a crap, it's a little bit of a test knife, but on single bevel knife it would be a little bit obvious where the shinogi is drawing. The shinogi is drawing between the contact of these two surfaces, this one, and because they meet in an angle, in a line, and this is shinogi, okay? And the shinogi is even because this surface and this surface are meeting even. If this one got, for example, a big high spot here, so a lot of more surface here, the shinogi would go up, of course, because there is more surface, there is a level up here, okay? But what's happening on a kurushi knife? How can I know that my shinogi line is even, that I didn't overgrind, that I'm meeting this surface well? It's true, it's a good question. My answer is you can actually draw a little bit the line you want, a little bit, but there is some constraints, there is some tolerance you would like. For example, if you want to give a really good polish and you want an even blade, you need to shape the bevel evenly, meaning there will be no low and high spot on the surface, all right? And doing so, you have to follow a little bit this surface, which is raw because it's made of hammering the surface. And so if you can see here, this is because it's getting a little bit higher. This is because there is a little bit more material here than just here. And this is going down, okay, because there is a little bit less material. You make an angle because this is shaped in a certain angle, okay? The kurushi surface is not completely flat. It's angled, but the bevel is even more angled. And those two surfaces, they meet together and they meet, creating a little wobbly shinogi, which I don't think it's bad looking. I quite like it. But you can't expect to have a straight line if you shape your bevel evenly. On a kurushi knife, if you want the straighter line, okay, the straighter line, there is, and you still get the even bevel. There is two solutions. One of the solution is to make the blade very, very thick. If the blade is very thick and your angle on the bevel is very strong, the meeting between the two surfaces will be much more aggressive, and the line will be drawn a little bit more straight, okay? And the second thing, of course, is to get the hammered surface the most even as possible. And this would ask a little bit of skill, of course, but also some, patience, checking with caliper, with rule, to check if there is any high or low spot on the surface, and you will hammer the high spot until you get the surface completely flat. But you will never get it like flat, like a stone shaped flat surface. So shinogi will be a little bit moving like that. It's not a problem, but on a kurushi knife it will be like that. And then the second question, well, the second question is about the topic of tonight live. It's how can I get an even color on a stone shaped bevel, on a stone polished bevel. Okay, so there is a different answer, and I will try to talk about it. I will maybe not talk about all possible issue and answer to how to get the even and nice clean bevel, but let's start the subject, okay? This knife is my test knife. It's a knife I've made maybe 2 years ago, or 1.5 years ago. This side, which is the left side, is actually quite flat, and this side is actually quite more convex, which is interesting for you because I can show you what will happen when I put the knife on the stone, and what will happen when the knife is very convex and when the knife is a little bit flatter. When I speak about convexity, and I'm gonna speak a lot about convexity today, it's a little bit more complex than only that convexity, which is perpendicular to the edge. This convexity, well, there is one question, sorry. Tu préfères le convexe ou le plat? Do you prefer convex or flat? There is no really true answer about that, but I prefer convexity. I prefer convex bevel. But I would say, depending on the knife, I would put a flatter bevel or a more convex bevel. I don't think flat or convex is a fight. You should use the shape you need for the right purpose or for the preference you like. Okay. convexity, it gives different solution for me about stone polishing, okay? And about the main purpose of the knife, cutting. I think it's give a nice property about really pushing the food and release the food, and also less stick the food, because there will be less material in contact with the food with the convexity. If it's not well made, it will wedge, but if it's good, well made, it will be interesting for the behavior of the blade. So, est-ce que je préfère donc le plat ou le convexe? Pour moi, c'est pas vraiment un choix. Il faut choisir ce que l'on préfère ou ce que l'on veut faire par rapport au couteau, par rapport à l'usage du couteau. Et moi, j'aime bien le convexe, et du coup, je travaille beaucoup sur la convexité. Mais parfois, mes convexités, elles sont très très légères, ce sera presque plat. Et parfois, mes convexités, elles sont très fortes, parce que je veux que le couteau soit très convexe. Voilà. Okay, so when I was speaking about convexity, okay, you can't think about convexity only that way about stone polishing. You need to think the convexity also here, okay? So when you get your knife from me, or I don't know, or from any maker, anywhere you get the knife, okay, and you want to polish it, you want to make another nice clean white bevel, I would advise you to take some measurement. It's maybe stupid, but I think it's interesting to have a little bit more information about the object before you start the project, okay? So I would say, take those two tools, okay? So one caliper, and with the, does it work? Okay, it's working. Okay, with the caliper, you can actually take the measurement at the shinogi about where you want the shinogi to be, okay? And you take the caliper, you check, okay? You check the thickness here at the heel, and here for this knife, I'm 3mm dot 0.9, okay? So 3.1, okay? 3.1, and if I'm taking the shinogi at the tip, okay, I'm 1.6, okay? So 1.6, 3.1, it's actually about half thickness, okay? So if the height of the bevel, okay, is the same, okay, and the thickness is twice thinner here than here, geometry, it's geometry, you will expect that this angle is twice thinner than this angle. So when you will grind your knife, you will have to understand that this angle from the heel will be twice thicker, and this one at the tip will be twice thinner. So you will have to change your angles. If you change your angle in a manner which is one angle here, one angle here, that is actually quite possible. And I don't know if my Sharpie will work, but you could draw about a line like this, okay? And this will put one angle here. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you a little bit. I got this little tool which give angles. So if this, my reference is 0, at the heel I'm about 6 degrees, okay? And at the tip, I don't know if it will work, I'm about 3.2, 3.4, something like that. So quite realistic, okay? So if you draw your knife with one angle here, okay, to get your shinogi, at the end it will be a good geometry, it will be a good shape, okay? Because you will have change your angle, your geometry will be correct, okay? But you will have a problem. Hi Thomas. You will have a problem. It will be about blending. It will be that this angle will be very strong, this angle will be very strong, and how will you make it smooth? Because if you really draw it very strongly, you will really have a sort of new shinogi making that line, okay? I have lost everybody, or do you get the point? Okay, can you tell me a little bit? Just yes, just no, something like that. So we were talking about going from here to here, and as we have seen that this was 3.1, this one 1.6, okay? And now from here to here, is it linear, is it straight, or is it convex? And this is interesting too, because it will be quite a different shape of the bevel if from here to here we don't have a flat surface, but we have something which is a little bit more convex. And I don't know, so this is my rule and this is rectified. You can find those tools. They are often made for, how you say that? In English, un rabot, it's a plane, okay? You can find that in shops that sell planes and tools to sharpen planes, okay? Wooden planes. And this is a rule which is rectified, means this is flat, it's perfectly flat. Okay, so I can put that rule on my knife and I can see the light through it, okay? And I don't know if you will be able to see anything from the camera, okay? But I can see that there is some convexity, because from here to here, my rule is not touching at the tip, and I need to roll on the shinogi to make the rule touch. That means it's not linear. From here to here, I'm not going in a straight way, but I'm going in a convex way. And this will again change the behavior of your bevel. It means that if you want to make it really flat, okay, you can. It means that your shinogi gonna go up like this, because this is convex. So this part, there is more material than if it was a flat surface, okay? So if you grind a flat surface from here to here, from 3 mm to 1.6, your shinogi gonna go up like that, okay? You don't want that to happen. You could want that to happen. You do everything you want with your knife, but let's say we stay in the traditional way, and traditional way would ask to polish a bevel parallel with a shinogi parallel to the edge, right? And so you need to adjust your angles, you need to adjust your bevel to that sort of property of the blade. So this one is pretty convex this side, and I'm sure if I'm taking the other side, so I was saying the left side was flatter, and it is much flatter. So check the both side of your knife. I don't know if I can show you. Okay, this is left side, so it's not touching, but it's pretty flat. And if I'm going this side, it's not touching at all. Well, there is 1 big millimeter before it touch, and this means there is a millimeter of convexity overall from the heel to the tip to to shape the bevel. Okay, so and this convexity, it's made by the maker of the knife in purpose or not in purpose. We are making the knife with a hammer. We try to do the best, but it's not easy, okay? It's not easy. So on that knife and most of my knife, if you'll check all of them, maybe one of you will do it, please report. You will see that most of my blade are straightened, and if I got the choice, I will give a little bit more convexity to the right side and a little bit more flatness to the left side, because I'm a right hand man and I can't help it. I will work a little bit this way. So okay, what will happen for the bevel if everything I'm saying is what I'm saying? Meaning if there is a flatter surface here and there is a more convex surface here, meaning not this way, but meaning this way. It will be harder for the convex part to be polished because the stone will have to reach a little hill, like a hill. It will reach the hill and we'll have to pass through the hill, which is a little bit of convexity to reach. And the stone, because it's hard, it will touch a little bit more the hill than a plane, a flat part, a flat surface. And touching this hill, it will most likely burnish. Burnish will be the lightest color you will get on your knife when you polish. Okay, I will show you that in a minute. And on the left side, because it's a flatter surface, what will happen? Necessarily, we won't have too much heel in front of us, so the stone will run in the plane, run on the flat surface, and without meeting a heel, it will make a more even color. So straight from the beginning, straight when you get the blade and you take those measurements with the ruler and with the caliper or what you got hidden, straight from the beginning, you can already expect what you will get a little bit. And what are the problems on the blade? Where are the biggest low spots? Because the ruler can give you the low spots along the shinogi, but it also can give you a little bit the low spots along the bevel and the convexity and everything. You can really check a lot with this. Okay, so let's go. The knife was polished with Naniwa 1K, and actually I can start back with the Naniwa 1K. At 7 p.m, meaning in 40 minutes, we will make a quick pause. I need to get a knife out of a deep edge. So yeah, I have put an alarm, but just to tell you. So do you have questions? We are 34 people. I think it's crazy. So a lot of people are watching here. And if you have questions from what I've just discussed, which are a little bit the theory before the polishing, do you have any question? So the question I got from Blank Blades, what do you plan to finish on? So like all my knives, which are displayed on my profile, okay? This knife will be finished on a natural Japanese stone because it's the choice I've made to polish the knives and to get results, which are mostly a kasumi, meaning a contrast between steel and iron, because my knives, they are sanmai. And second thing, some details or in the steel or in the iron, mostly in the iron, but sometimes in the steel, details which are about the fiber, the texture of the iron, the pattern of it when it's Damascus. So we will see, we will get to it a little bit later, but at the end of my bench, I got some natural stones. The second question is, tu aplatis la pierre avec quoi? What do you use to flatten your stone? So this is a synthetic stone. I'm using a nano-hone NL10. This is the most expensive device to polish, to surface a stone. But I get it. But you don't really need it if you want to flatten your stones. Most people will use a diamond plate from Atoma. It's a Japanese brand which are making plates to flatten your stones. And if you want even more economic, okay, sorry, I bring with you, you can use, okay, here it's a tank with a marble, okay, and I got some sick powder. So this is sick powder. I put sick powder on this with water and I rub the stone on it. And this will be the less expensive ever to really flatten a stone if you need. The nano-hone works perfectly well. Problem, it's expensive. And it's expensive. It's working very well, no problem about that. But I had the issue that a button was unglued. So this piece that are metal with diamond on it, and they are actually only glue to the plate. I mean, for 600 euros, it's not crazy. So I would not advise to buy that. I mean, it's working, but is it worth 600 euros quality? Not sure. The sick powder is about 10 euros the bag. I would say use the sick powder, and just to finish, get an Atoma plate. This is 80 euros, and you will finish with the Atoma. Yeah, you need a tank, something with the sick powder because it's messy. So you need something to put the marble plate in it, so you don't put the things everywhere. Yeah, it's 600 euros, the nano-hone. It's a tool made for sharpener. It's very, very useful and working well, but it's, yes, it's expensive. Okay. Atoma 140 if you want to flatten the stone. Atoma 400 if you want to just surface a little bit and make it clean. For I don't use really 400 for synthetic, actually. Even the 600 is 6000 or 8K grit. I use Atoma 400 for natural stones. And I had a previous question. Sorry, I'm going back to the thing. Is where do you buy the stone? Yeah, where do you buy the stones? It's a huge question. There will be another live about it, maybe, but ask in a forum. There is kitchen knife forum. Ask there. Yeah, I mean, maybe the issue about a button to fall off is very rare, but as it could happen because it's only glue, it's not welded. I don't know. Not crazy about it. Yeah, I'm flattening the stone mostly, sorry, but I care more about the surface and my work than the stone. I prefer to have a nice surface than to have more stones. Some stones I could use them without being flat, but mostly for my job it's more useful if it's flat, so I'm flattening the stone often. Okay, let's do the job, okay? Because time is running, you know that. Okay, so let's do this side. I don't know if you will see, my light is not better than usual. Actually, it's a really good light, but the camera is not doing a great job about contrast. Okay, so you can see that there is a hard steel here, and if I'm putting the knife on it, So first, same idea as I said previously. If I'm starting at the heel, okay, I have put my knife on the stone and I putting the knife at the heel, okay. That means because I'm putting some pressure on here, I will be on this angle at the heel, meaning this angle, which is about 6 degrees, as we said before. And if I'm working on that, okay, and I'm not moving the blade, I'm just only going to the tip, but yeah, trying to be steady, okay. Okay, so I have done from heel to tip. If I'm looking the knife, I'm gonna try to show you. The line is not like perfect like with the Sharpie, but it's almost drawn the same way. Okay, I'm gonna try to find the light. Okay, you can see that there is that sort of diagonal coming out, okay, this one. And this is because the stone touch only here, 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 here. It doesn't touch here at all, okay? And this is logical. If I'm working with that angle and I'm polishing the knife, being steady and keeping the angle, I'm starting touching mostly all the bevel, but then touching only the edge, right? Same idea if I'm starting with the tip. If I'm putting some pressure at the tip and then I'm getting 3 degrees about angle on my knife and I'm start polishing, if from there I'm yes, it's a little bit cold, it's not bad, but it's 11 degrees because I hit the place before. If not, it's 6 or 5. Okay, so if I'm starting at the tip right here and I'm going to the heel from the tip, I need to change the angle, or I need at least to be very low pressure, because this is 3 degrees, this is 6 degrees. So if I keep the 3 degrees, I will overgrind here all the heel, and that's, I'm sure it's happening to you because it's happening to me. I'm sure. Okay, so if we keep the drawing I have drawn before, if the theory would be perfect, normally even if I keep the angle, I would draw the line here and I should not like overgrind, but I will really should get a little bit of touching here. It's a little short surface here only because I don't grind too much. If I keep the 3 degrees angle from here, and I'm grinding, getting deeper on the blade, it will overgrind the shinogi at the heel, of course. Yeah, I got some comfort because I'm doing that few hours per day, so this is warm water, so yeah, it's not that bad. Okay, so let's get back to the tip. So I'm 3 degrees here at the tip and I'm polishing my tip part with the bevel sitting on the stone, okay? And now I'm getting to the heel and I'm not trying to overgrind too much at the heel, all right? And you can't see a thing because Naniwa is giving an even color, but let's take a harder stone. And I would advise for the people who like to polish a little bit more their knives to use and to get some very hard stones with the stones. This one, the 1K Naniwa Pro, and this is a Geishin 4000. I don't know if there is alternative to that. I'm sure there is. This one is from Japanese Knife Imports in USA, but I'm sure there is an alternative in Europe for that. If you know, please tell it to other people. So this is a 4000, but it's very hard and it's a ceramic stone. And if I'm using it, at the beginning it's doing a little bit of kasumi, but in the end it will burnish because it will close the surface and I will get a bright surface. So let's work a little bit on the stone, on the same area. The stone will close and then I can show you by burnishing the surface where the stone touch. That is what I want to show you. Okay, it's starting. As you can see, I'm putting a lot of water on my stone, so I rinse off the mud. The mud is making the hazy finish. The mud is making the dark surface. But it is possible to burnish on a hard stone like the Geishin 4K. Okay, so I've kept my about 3 degrees angle, all right? And here is what I got. It should be very obvious for you. Okay, let me... It's very hard to show you on the camera, sorry. I need to find the angle because my light is good. Okay, which is better, okay? So as you can see, the knife was burnished. It's very hard to show you because the light is very strong. Okay, so I'm touching here, and I'm touching here, and I'm touching here, and I'm touching here, and actually I didn't reach more than here. I didn't touch here, okay? And I didn't touch all here. Okay, so from the heel you have that sort of triangle which is drawn and which is working a little bit this way, okay? And this is how the bevel should be, is the shape of it. Okay, and that is how you can find a meeting between two angles, 6 degrees, 3 degrees, and you will work like this way. Okay, now how about blending? First, as you can see, a hard stone is burnishing and it will show the facets very easily. I didn't start with the 1K, I start with the 200 grit on that knife. But the video, I try to make the live only on one topic because it would be too long. So the topic of tonight is about like you are at the 1K and how you can do the bridge to the natural stones. So all the shaping of the bevel, the main shaping is done previously. It was done. Okay, right. So we have the Naniwa Pro 1K. It's 1000 grit stone. Okay. And now how we can make an even color, which will be normally about the same result you will get with a natural stone. There is no a soft stone, a soft synthetic stone like the Naniwa Pro. For me, it's a soft stone. It will work about the same as a natural, just the effect is not really as cool, as beautiful as the natural stone, but it will be a little bit the same effect, meaning the hard steel will be white and the iron will be dark because the surface with the mud of the stone, because it's soft, the surface of the iron will be hazy. All right, so let's start again. I'm at the tip and I'm not changing my angle and I'm reaching the heel, and when I'm doing that angle, which is 3 degrees about, and I'm shaping the knife like that a little bit on the 1K, what I'm doing is being in contact with the shinogi as much as I can, not overgrind it, so being very careful that this angle is not pushing too hardly on the shinogi and overgrind. And sometimes you even don't have something which is as simple as that, but I'm gonna draw you the thing so you can really understand what you will get when you will polish your knife. Sometimes you have a series of angles along the blade, because actually sometimes I feel it's too steep, too much difference between this angle at the heel and the one at the tip. So you will have sort of different diagonal, like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay? Sometimes you only have one or two, sometimes you have three, sometimes you have four, sometimes you have a whole bunch of it, and you will see on this knife, I don't know if you can see a little bit with the light, okay? This is the Sharpie, but actually between the two lines of Sharpie, you see there is three diagonal which are a little bit on the surface, and this is actually the diagonal which are on the knife here. So this is a little bit like nice transition, and here there is like a stronger transition, so it's doing tick 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 tick, because it's the angles of the knife that you can see. If it's not clear again, you can tell me, I will try to show you better. But as you can see with the Sharpie, sometimes you have this angle. So what I mean by that is that you start at the tip polishing, okay, here at the tip, and while you are going back to the heel, actually you change a little bit your angle, not to overgrind your shinogi too much. So you follow a little bit the difference of angle, and you reach finally your angle here smoothly. And you can do the same job but the other side, so from here, and I'm feeling my shinogi, I'm trying to feel my shinogi, and then I go to the tip and I try to feel my shinogi, meaning my stone hit a little bit the shinogi without rolling on it, because that would be too bad, but just following my shinogi. And for example, what I can see is that, I don't know if the wire it will show, but I got a whitish area here, and this whitish is a high spot. If you have a whitish surface like this with the Naniwa Pro, for example, this means it's a little bit high spot. So you can concentrate a little bit on it to make it a little bit lower. It's not super high, so as you can see I can erase it quite easily, but it's there. Tu relèves un peu le manche pour donner de l'angle. Yes, there is always two different angle or convexity. There is this angle, 6 at the heel, 3 at the tip, okay? But there is also that convexity, and I need to care about that. So I will put the stone here, okay, on the heel. And while I'm going to the tip, because there is some convexity on the length of the knife, I will have to raise a little bit my hand. If not, I will, let's think about it. If I'm not doing that, I will not reach it. So I will overgrind here until I can touch the tip. So if I'm raising, I can touch the tip without overgrinding here in the middle. En français, les angles, ils sont différents, ok? Ici, au talon, et ici à la pointe. À la pointe c'est plus fin, au talon c'est plus épais. Mais aussi le couteau il a une convexité là dans ce sens là, dans la longueur. Donc ça veut dire que quand je mets mon couteau sur la pierre et que je travaille à plat, si je travaille à plat sans remonter ma main, je ne peux pas toucher ma pointe. Ou si je veux toucher ma pointe, je suis obligé de manger, de grinder toute cette surface-là jusqu'à ce que ma pointe puisse enfin être touchée par la pierre. Donc on ne le fait pas ça. On est plat au début, ok, et on lève la main pour que la pointe puisse toucher. Yeah, blank blade say on something with a shinogi and a distal taper at least. Yeah. It would be complex to speak about all the geometry. We are speaking about that sort of geometry, which is my main work, okay, for my knives. If you work with a knife which is no distal taper, so let's say it will be 1.5 millimeter at the heel, 1.5 millimeter at the tip, you won't have, or less, that sort of problem of angles changing. Yeah. But it's very interesting, blank, because I don't know if they can read the comments you give while I'm speaking. And actually, I think for later, because I will save the live, the next people which will be seeing the live later, they can't see the comments. So I'm just clarifying too. Okay. So yeah, what I'm speaking is when the shinogi or the knife is very tapered like this one. This one is extremely tapered. As you can see, it's very strong here and thinner at the tip. Geometry is more complex because there will be a big distal taper, and you need to deal with that. Okay. Let's go on. So now with the 1K, I have worked along the shinogi, and now I should work maybe a little bit along the edge, or more along the rest of the bevel, so I can put my knife at the heel, and this will touch most of the bevel, and then I can just keep my angle, and this will touch the edge at the tip area, and then I will touch the full bevel at the heel. I've done way and back, okay? And if you want then to blend the two angles, because here I'm only working this angle from the tip, this angle from the heel, but never blending one in the other. For blending, okay, I need to erase or make a little bit more smooth this diagonal or those diagonal. So when you see a diagonal appearing, it's because of the convexity of the knife, of the different angles which are composing the bevel. And if you want to smooth, you need to situate one of these diagonal, which is a heel, where the stone has to pass. And actually you need to smoothen the heel. So on that knife, I got a heel about here, and what I can do is put my bevel on the full surface of the bevel where the heel sit, and instead of just passing, I'm just staying on the heel and I'm grinding. So I'm grinding a little bit that heel, and grinding it, I will smoothen the heel. Okay, and you can do that for all the heel you see. So I can see another one which is about here, and okay, I'm going to this, and I'm putting the full bevel on it, and without too much pressure, because if I'm pushing too hard, I can create some facets instead of erasing them. So I'm going very slowly here and just with light pressure working the heel, meaning working the high points. We are always working the high points because they are the one which will make the finish not as good as you want. Okay, let's progress in the stones. Okay, again, question, I'm here. Okay, you have a fun time. It's okay. Okay, so the progression would normally be asking to go 3K, 6K, okay, and then the bridge to the natural. Maybe let's smoothen a little bit that knife again, because I've just seen while I was talking to you a little bit of transition to smoothen. Okay, that is better. So every time I see a high spot, I'm just concentrated with no much pressure on it, but I'm just not passing on it, but concentrating my polishing on it, and I'm slowly erasing them. Okay. Sometimes you will have very strong angles, so you will have an angle at the tip which will be very low, and just after the tip an angle which will be very strong, and that will be more 400 grit work. Okay, but or you can concentrate on the diagonal, which is the demarcation between this strong angle and this strong angle. Okay, and you will grind here until you will smoothen the transition between those two angles. But sometimes I'm also working, it's just to give you the idea, I'm also working or pushing close to the edge this angle to make it low, to make a lower angle. So I will make an angle which will be closer to this one. And sometimes the inverse, I can also push on the shinogi for this angle, so I will make this surface appear a little bit more close to this one. So when you're shaping, you can think about that sort of solution. Everything is allowed as soon as you get the result. For polishing, if you find a solution that works, try it, do it. Okay, so we are at 1K. Well, let's do 3K Naniwa quickly, very quickly. We are not going to make the beautiful polish, meaning we don't want to have all scratches perfectly erased right now for today. We want even color, nice Kasumi finish. Knife Spa Berlin, you ask, do you convex it or keep it flat? What is it? What do you talk about? And Blank is still the same, and he said you should use, well, you can also cheat and use sandpaper and lose abrasive. Yeah, I know you're joking. Yeah, Knife Spa, what do you speak about? Do you convex it or keep it flat? What? The bevel? My bevel, okay, to speak a little bit about how is made the thing. It is made with, okay, with these two angles mostly, which is one angle which is, okay, dying here, and one angle which is getting there. Okay, this is how it is made mostly, but it's true there is also some convexity, meaning actually this angle I make it a flat surface, and I advise you to try to make this angle, which is the one from the tip, to make a flat surface for it. Okay, I don't know if it's clear. And this one, okay, the one from the heel, is not flat. it's not really flat, but I make it convex. So this means the surface perpendicular to the edge is convex, like that, okay? Everything is about convex longitudinally, but only that angle is convex parallel to the edge, perpendicular to the edge, and this area, which is so starting from the tip, the angle of the tip, this is a flat surface perpendicular to the edge. It's geometry, sorry, it's complex. Okay, let's go on. So yeah, what I want to show you is how to make for you at home a nice clean kasumi, but about cleaning the thing without to have a scratchless finish, let's talk about that later. Today we want even color, nice even color, okay? So I can work a little bit on the Naniwa Pro 3K, but actually you can bridge, almost bridge a 1K finish on the iron with the natural stone. You can't with the hard steel. The iron is a soft material, it's not hardened. So making bridge is possible. It's possible to erase 400 scratches with a 1K on iron, which is not that easy with a hard steel, and you will maybe use one stone in between. So for here, I'm with the 3K Naniwa Pro, and I will work mostly the edge just to erase the 1K scratches, and actually the iron surface, I can almost forget about it, meaning that even with the 1K Naniwa, I should be able to erase the 1K Naniwa with a natural stone. Okay, so actually my steel is very low, my lamination line is quite low on that knife, actually for this side, so the hard steel is very few discovered, so there is less work to do, which is great. You don't need a lot of hard steel discovered, you just need maybe 2-3 millimeters discovered, that's all. Okay, so I got my hard steel, which is more shiny now. Okay, you should see the contrast between the iron and the hard steel on that knife. Okay, and I can, even if I said I should not do it, but I mean, I won't take a lot of time, I can sit the bevel a little bit more flat on the stone and just erase a little bit the scratches on the full bevel with the Naniwa Pro 3K. Well, just one pass should be enough. The Naniwa 3K is fast, but you can't really correct any geometry with a stone which is 3K. With 1K you still work a little bit, some few details, but with the 3K you're doing nothing. Okay. Try to feel the blade. Is it getting from the heel to the tip smoothly, or is it struggling, meaning you can feel that it's hurting some points while you're polishing? If it's hurting you some points, it means there is some big heels, there is some high points that are on your bevel, and when you touch them with the stone hurt them, and this should be bad for the blade because you will see that it will make white color, and it's also sorry, I lose my mind. Yeah, it's also meaning that it will not give you the best finish with the natural stones, meaning it will maybe release some bigger abrasive, because the stone hitting some high heel will release some fresh abrasive, and sometimes it's even very coarse bits of stone, and you will scratch the blade. So at that 3K time, try to feel your blade, and is it smooth on the stone? Can you go from heel to tip smoothly without too much struggling on the Naniwa 3K or any other stone you use, okay? Or is it only hitting? I had actually a very interesting question during the week, and the people was saying when I'm using the Naniwa 3K, which was my case 3 years ago, when I'm polishing, okay, I'm always sticking the blade to the stone, and it's sticking, and I can't polish, okay? Why it's happening? First, I think you should add a little bit more water if it's happening. But if it's happening, okay, that's 7 o'clock. I will make a little pause to get the deep edge knife. Okay, just finishing my sentence. I can't remember what I was saying again. Sorry, guys. Anyone remember what I was saying? Okay, I was saying what? I'm speaking too much, so I can't remember now. Okay, I was polishing and I was speaking about yeah, the interesting question I had during the week. Okay, sticking to the stone. I was talking about stickiness. So if the blade is sticking to the stone, to the Naniwa Pro, I know that it's happening very often. It's also because your bevels are very, very flat. For example, my tip surface is much flatter than the rest of my bevel. So, for example, if I'm trying I don't know, because I'm quite doing convexity, so no, it's not sticky. But with a very, very, very flat surface, you can have more stickiness, and that will happen. I should advise you to try convex, but you can also just add some water, flatten the stone, and put less pressure on your blade. I'm just going to get the deep edged blade, and I'm coming back. Okay. This is a deep edge I'm working on. Interesting. But it's not the subject of tonight, so we're gonna go on with our discussion. Okay. Okay, so let's go on. So, yeah, nail polish, exactly. I thought it was looking nice, and yeah, it's smooth surface. It's looking good, and I like the color. So we were at the 3K. Let's not wait further, and let's go to the natural stones. Okay. So after you worked your bevel with the 3K, one possibility. Okay, sorry. Someone called while I was doing the live. So you could go to the Natsuya, which is a 2K grit stone, okay? Or you could go to Mikawa Nagura, okay? 3K. My advice for make it like super simple and yeah, just the basic choice you should all do at first is a soft stone. A soft stone which is fast, and this is like what it is. It is this is Maroyama Shirosuta. It's one of the last mine which is still worked. Salut Maxime, ça va? Ça va, ça va. So it's one of the last mine in Japan which is still exploiting the stone. And for example, I'm gonna surface the stone, but I'm not using this. This is only for synthetic. I advise you, same for what I do. I got an Atoma which is only for the naturals. So I don't mix grits too much, okay? And I don't mix Atoma. So I'm gonna surface a little bit. It's precious, so I'm not over flattening. Okay, I can see there is still a little bit of low spot here, but it's okay. Merci beaucoup, Maxime. And the Atoma was 140 to flatten, and now I'm 400 to make it smooth. Okay, so now I have prepared the surface. Okay, I can wash the stone. I don't really use the Atoma plate mud. I don't do it mostly because of the grit contamination, and I like to be sure that the surface is clean. I don't want any grit that could be around, so I'm cleaning. From my experience, no. If you surface the stone with the Atoma 140, then you clean the stone on the running water and then you polish on it, you won't scratch the blade because it's a soft stone. If you do it with a very hot stone, I'm not so much used to that, so do the test. I can't, maybe it will scratch, but I think it should be good. Okay, so I'm taking the knife and now I'm gonna polish the knife on the stone. So how to get even color, something like a Kasumi finish. This is Maroyama Shirosuita. So Maroyama is the name of the mountain. Suita is the type of strata, and Shiro is white because the stone is white. a little bit. Okay. So okay, let's do the job. To make an even color, the most easiest way would be to work with the mud. The mud of a stone is making sort of paste, abrasive paste, and this, it's gaining everywhere, and it's making the contact between the blade and the stone more smooth, because there is a paste between the stone and the blade, and this paste will polish the knife nicely, evenly, and you will have better, nice, even color. You still can have unevenness in the color with that sort of stone. If the bevel is really not very well shaped and there is heel and very big convexity and things like that, you can have not even color. But if we have prepared the things quite alright, okay, and if we use the mud from this stone, we should get a decent result, okay? And we only ask for that. Okay, so the stone, it's quite a little bit of soft, and it's also interesting because hello Peter, because it's a little bit thirsty. So interestingly, when you put some water on the stone, it will dry. The stone will dry a little bit. So the water management is quite easy on those stones, meaning that what you want is not too much water, so you will have more mud, less diluted mud, okay? And if the mud is too thick, you will add a little bit of water on the stone and you're good to go. Some harder stone are hard to use because if you start straight away with too much water, you will never reach really easily the point where there is enough slurry or mud between the blade and the stone, and it will be hard to polish. So just start with a simple stone like this. Maruyama Shirosuta, honestly, they are one of the best stone you could get in that area, but you can get a cheaper stone which will work. Of course, some stones are not working as good as this, but they will work. Hoira is a mine which is doing quite a lot of they are very expensive Hoira, but there is also quite cheap Hoira you can find which are soft, you can use. And Hideriyama is also a mine which is soft stone and are very nice to use. I know that also GNS is selling Iwatani and Shobunani, which are soft, LV2 or LV2.5. You can use them because they are nice to use and soft. Okay, let's start. So I'm putting the bevel quite flat for now, and I'm at the heel, and I went a little bit further, but not too much. Most important is to put the blade, the iron on the stone first, so the stone can make the slurry, the dark slurry, quickly, because the stone is able to cut the iron much faster than the hard steel. If I will do that just after that, if you want. If I'm starting with the hard steel, you will see that the stone is making far less mud than this. And now we have enough mud. I got the mud on the knife and you got the mud on the stone. And from there, I should be able to lower the pressure and just go about everywhere on the surface. And of course there is some convexity and I need to change my angles and I need to reach some points so the stone can reach those points on the blade. All right, but now I'm working with the mud and with lower pressure, so there is mud between the knife and the stone. Okay, and I can work the steel. Actually, with the mud, you really have a superb scratchless finish if you work long time with the mud on the hot steel. Do you experience a difference between short and long strokes too? Long strokes more burnish and short one make it more hazy. Yeah, there is this. Longer stroke will actually be better to shape the knife and give they will give same surface because they will make contact with a longer surface. And of course, if you are finally polishing with fewer pressure, you can do shorter strokes. Shorter strokes will hit less surface and it will also abrase on one point a little bit more, and this will hazy a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, so now I can check my knife, see if there is some lighter color to correct. Okay, I got one at the heel and I'm working with even less pressure to make it hazy. Okay. Okay. You need to be a little bit careful about also what is it? Oxidation, and that could happen also because while you're working with the mud, there is a lot of stone mud, and stone mud is sometimes acidic, so you should put some baking soda in the water if that's happening. Okay, and here we go, we have a nice clean kasumi. There is some limit to that finish, but for now we are happy because we got it. I'm trying to show you, but again, it's not easy. Okay? Yeah, bottle spray with baking soda works perfectly. What is it? Same. Okay, so this is a way to get your even color, and I think that would be the most simplest way to get the even color and the kasumi. So a little bit soft stone, you make the mud with the iron, okay, working with the iron, and then you lower the pressure and you just work with the mud, and then you check your bevel, and every time you see some lighter color, you concentrate on that sort of part, and you just work with lower pressure on that part, and you will get the kasumi. Okay, now there is some limit with kasumi finish. The limit are you don't get really crazy details in the iron. So that's why we use harder stone, because only with that Maru Yamashiro Suita I'm not able to show and bring the nice details out of the knife. So yeah, you can then grab a harder stone to get a better detailed finish. Let me show you some few things, and that will be it maybe for tonight. Why not? First is doing the same surface condition. Okay, so Atoma 140 to just flatten the stone a little bit, and then Atoma 400 to surface. Okay, then I rinse the stone, same as I did previously. Okay, and now, okay, getting rid of too much water a little bit, getting rid of too much water on the blade like this. Also, I'm washing the blade, but then I'm squeezing a little bit the water, so there is no too much water on my hands, on the knife, and on the stone. And right now, if I'm just working on the hard steel, it's just to show you. Et voilà, no mud. Okay, so hard steel is really not the same as iron. You will not have any slurry or mud if you start with the hard steel. Even if the stone is soft, even if the stone is abrasive, on some piece of hard steel, it's very hard for it to abrade and make slurry and to abrase. That's why, like I did before, I have start with the iron. And with the iron, I get the mud straight away. Iron is soft, steel is very hard. And when you get this paste on your knife, then you can work with the hard steel and use this paste as much as you can on the hard steel, and this paste will be 3 times more efficient on the hard steel than when the stone was only with water. And you can really erase some, I don't know, maybe 3K scratches with a Maruyama Shiro Suita, working the hard steel on the mud. And you will have I don't know if I can show you, but the color of the hard steel with that stone is very nice. It's sort of scratchless finish on the hard steel. It's really nice. Okay, and last thing, I'm going to show you the right side quickly. The right side, as I told you, it's much more convex, and it's actually much more convex this direction and also this direction. And what will happen with a knife which will be much more convex? So if I remember, the finish is 1K on that side, so it's not like perfectly prepared, but you can put a 1K finish on a Maruyama, there is no problem. You will have some scratches on the core which won't be erased by the Maruyama, but still you will have a nice finish. Okay, so same thing, I can work maybe starting at the tip. I heard the knife was not doing any nice sound, so I'm cleaning the stone and cleaning the knife. Avec plaisir, merci. So, okay, let's do this convex part. So, same, I'm starting with the tip. And I'm working on the iron first. Okay. And it will be very interesting to show you. More convexity it's bringing some yeah, weird transition facets, and I'm gonna show you that in a second. Okay, so what we can see, and it's very interesting because I'm sure you will get a lot of that sort of polish. Okay, most obvious is here. I got some lines, diagonal lines, so there is mostly two here, one here, one here, and these are burnished, but I got also some of them here, longer one, okay, little bit diagonal, which are a little bit more burnished, and again at the heel too, okay. And this is because of the convexity. The more there is convexity, the more there is little facets, little angles, changing of angles to deal with and to smoothen and to make it nice and everything. I guess on that sort of facets, you need to work with the 1K and with the 3K to really smoothen the facet as much as you can before reaching the naturals. But the same principle is can be used to make a convex surface a little bit more even color. And to my point of view, there should be two main solutions. So now I'm just trying to make some mud. So I'm working with the iron on the bevel, and actually I don't really care about where I polish, I just want to make mud. Okay, I have made some mud. And now, same. I'm working from the tip, and I know that that part is there is some high heel, and I'm trying to smoothen and work as much with the mud with less pressure to pass this heel. And now I'm reaching the heel, and I can check there is some contamination, so I got some bad scratches, but the color is much more even. As a blacksmith, I really fight against contamination because my hands are always dirty. Okay. If I want to make it better with no scratches, I need to wash the stone, but if I wash the stone, I won't have the mud. So less short strokes and a lot of mud. And as you can see again, this convex side will appear with much more even color, even if it's convex. So as you can see, it's a quick job. So at the heel there should be more work to do, as you can see, okay, but the rest is not too bad. And here we can still see a little bit the burnished thing, but it's better, okay. And the other way would be to completely burnish. Try to work with a hard stone, which is not too abrasive, so the stone will struggle to make the slurry, and then we burnish. To show you that, the easiest stones you can use to burnish would be those mid grits, hard mid grits, which are Mikawa Nagura. This is can't remember now, but I will give you the name in a second. Those stones, they are hard, a little bit coarser, but they burnish very easily. So I'm going to show you that. Kasabori, this is the name of the stone. Not famous not famous, but nice stone for that. So you put a lot of water, okay, and the stone is hard, so you can work the blade on the stone. Same, I'm working on the iron, but the stone is hard, so it's not making much slurry, and I can already see that it's making a very lighter color on the bevel, okay. And this can save you actually, because some knives are very hard to get a nice kasumi. So working with harder stone and make it burnish is really another way, an interesting way to get your finish out of the knife without getting the kasumi. It's very interesting too, because you will get also sometimes more details in the clad. Well, there is still a little bit of contamination, so I don't have a beautiful finish, but hell, I need to just show you. It's not to get the perfect. Okay, so here I have done overall the job. I'm gonna rinse again the stone, rinse the knife, and work with a lot of water and a little bit less pressure. Longer strokes actually. And I'm trying to do some, how you say that? Strokes which are touching from heel to edge. It's not easy, but I'm trying. Okay. And those stones, the more you work, the more they glaze. And the more they glaze, the more they burnish. Okay, it's finished. It's a little bit scratchy, but it's okay. Left jaw, you say this is a sign we should start practicing left arm leading. Really, you should, because I'm right hand man, okay? And actually, my if you look at my knife, my left side polish, so my left side leading, my left side polish, they are almost always better than my right hand. So you should. Okay, so this is a more burnish surface. It's not perfect, but you can see that I can get also an even color. So there is still contrast, okay, but it's more shiny, and the iron is more burnish. And let me show you if I can see. It's a little bit scratchy, but I hope you can see. Interesting thing with the burnish is that you can get some details in the iron. I don't know if you can get that with the camera, but there is some details popping up. And burnishing is quite fun too, so you should try. If you tried with a very hard, fine stone, you need to be really spot on with your geometry and with your previous work. So I don't advise any beginner to try to start with a very hard stone. For example, this. Okay, this is very hard. If I put water on it, it's not staying on the stone because it's so hard that the water slide on the stone. These stones, they are beautiful. They make beautiful finish, but that will be after 1 year or 2 years of practice. Don't start with that. If you want to burnish, try some mid-grit stones. Let me give you some example. So yeah, I'm sure, Peter, you did that. Kasabori is nice. Mikawa Nagura are nice. Aizu, they should polish. Aizu, they should burnish. Hard Aizu, and maybe another name. Tajima is a nice mid-grit that should do the work. And I'm sure there is more. I'm sure there is more. Just ask the people who sell the stone for a hard mid-grit stone. About 4K grit. 3K, 4K. And you should be able to do that. Okay. So any question? Any more question? I hope it helps. So yeah, stones transition from synthetic to natural stone, and how to get the even color. Of course, the mud thing, so low pressure in a soft stone, you will get some really nice results. And as you could see, even with a very convex bevel, you can get nice even color. So that's possible. Hard stone demo. I'm gonna try to show you the hard stone demo just for you. Yeah, so the soft stone work, and but even previously it is working, because even if there is a lot of convexity on my knife, it was shaped well. It was shaped with quite smooth heel, quite smooth convexity. If there is a lot of convexity and the transition between the angles, between the different type of surfaces on your bevel are not smoothened and they are not correct, you cannot do the trick I've just shown you with the mud. You will have burnished things. You will touch your shinogi a lot, and this will burnish also your shinogi. So you need a nice clean surface, and you need to understand everything I've said just before. Okay? I will make more live video, and I will talk a bit more about shaping your knife, your bevel on the stones. I'm making knife based on stone polishing. I mean, this is the main assets of my knives. It's because they are all prepared with the stone, and the bevel you get is prepared on the stones. There is no way, and it's no interesting for me if my customers and you just don't know what to do with the stone and with the knife. If I can learn you how to use them, how to use the stone, you can then find all the potential which are on my knives, I hope, because of course they will cut, and you will have nice pleasure time in the kitchen, and that's, for me, it's 80% of my job. It's the most important, that you have nice time while you're doing the cooking. But the 20% less that are left, sorry, is the maintenance of the knife. And this is about the grinding, and when it's all nice and clean, you can really use all the potential of the knives. Ouais, avec plaisir, merci. Okay, hardstone demo quickly. Let's try with this one. I will do the left side, which is prepared with the Maruyama, and it's a little bit less scratchy. So to work with the hardstone, you need to be really clean hands. I'm gonna even put the pullover up. Okay. Okay, you clean your hands with soap, please. I even sometimes brush my nails, so it's all really clean and perfect. Okay, cleaning my arms, because any grit contamination with a hard stone, it's really giving a shitty job, I can assure you. Okay, now Atoma 400 grits. Okay, doesn't need more. Cleaning the stone under running water. Okay, and now cleaning the blade under running water. And depending of the stone, depending of the bevel, I will work differently. So this demo is something, but not all. But I hope you can have some interesting information. So I'm reducing a little bit the water, but not enough water is not good too. And for now I need to work on the iron, and I need to feel the stone grinding. I do short strokes, so if I hit a heel, I won't hit the stone too hard. And I'm careful with the shinogi, because when you hit the shinogi with a hard stone, you can also release some particles. And the more I work, the more I will get the slurry, and the slurry will be a little bit smoother. Okay, and the surface at the beginning, when you have prepared the stone with the Atoma, the stone is very abrasive, and the more you work with the stone, the more the surface will be flat and polished by the knife, and the more it will burnish, and also it will tend to grab the knife too. Okay, I've done a little bit of it. I'm gonna work with the details now. I've just polished the bevel overall. Okay, as you can see, it's low pressure, middle strokes. Most important is not to do some bad gesture and not to hit a heel with too much power. All the heel need to be gentle movement. I got a little bit of grit contamination. I can hear it. It's not much, but I can hear it. It will be okay for tonight, but normally I would wash the stone, wash the knife, wash my hands, and start again. Okay. Some stones, they tend to grab very, very strongly, and some stones, they're okay. So that really depends on the stone. Good quality stone, they won't grab your iron too much. But again, if you give something to grab to a hard stone, it will grab. Yeah, the heel are the high spot. And actually, on those hard stone, I much prefer convexity knife, convexity bevel than flat, because flat is always harder to polish with a stone which is hard. And the progression for that side is a very quick progression. Is 1K Naniwa, 3K Naniwa, Maruyama Shiro Suita, and this hard stone. Yeah. I got some very bad scratches right here. I don't know if it's previous or if the stone made it just right now. I don't know. I think it's because it's just the starting point of the heel of the high spot, so the stone don't like it. Okay, let me show you just the best part of it. But yeah, as you can see, hard stone, they're hard. You need to be super cautious. You need to be careful about okay, the surface condition of the knife, but even when you're polishing, as soon as you can hear a little bit of something which is not very soundless, muted, as soon as you hear anything, you clean everything, your hands, the knife, the stone, and you start again. But what you get is super high polish. I can't show you because it's too shiny. Okay. And again, you get some nice details in the iron. It starts to be mirror on the hard steel, and actually it starts to be mirror on the iron too. And the bevel start to shine much more. I don't know if I can show you that, but with natural light is much better to show. Okay, so it's a quick job, and it's not like I mean, you need to be super more careful to have a beautiful finish. That's why I don't do like a lot of knife with the final stone that hard, and when I do it, they are a little bit more expensive because you need to be so perfect. Okay. Thank you, crazy guys. Okay, have a good night. I hope it was fun and you learned a lot of things. Again, if you have questions, you can always write me a message. I'm generally answering, and I will make more lives about that. But yeah, I like to keep on the work of teaching with you. I was struggling for years about that subject. I learned a lot with nice people and also with my experience, and I'm glad to share again. So have a great day. I'm gonna do my random draw for the set of 2 knives because I guess that there's some people waiting for the result. And wish you all a great night, and yeah, goodbye.